Hi, everyone. Happy U.S. Inauguration Day. Welcome to All Levels Yoga. Grab your couple of blocks, strap, blanket, whatever you might need, and find a comfortable seat. So we are now on Wednesday, day 3 of reviewing the third yama or ethical principle within the first limb of the 8 limbs of yoga. And that yama is asteya, which means non-stealing. I found a wonderful article written by Summer Cushman in her website, Yoga in Depth. She describes this yama asteya as calling us to cultivate a way of being in the world that's so full of gratitude and abundance that the idea of stealing or taking excess of any kind isn't even imaginable. What if instead of moving through the world focused on what we can get, we can constantly ask ourselves what we can give? As Hafiz, the great Sufi master, wrote, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. Nishchala Joy Devi wrote, when we don the attitude of caretakers instead of owners, we enjoy things when they come and let them go with ease. It is nature's rhythm. All things come and all things go. So how might we infuse the attitude of caretaker as we go from one posture, fully immerse in it, and then say goodbye with joy too? How do we bring this attitude of gratitude and feeling of abundance in whatever context we may find ourselves? There is always light, and it takes courage to see the light. Moreover, it takes courage to be the light. That was the inaugural poet, Amanda, who spoke today, inauguration. So let's close our eyes, settle in, tune in. As you bring your palms to meet at heart center, take a deep breath, lifting your heart space. Keep it light and lifted. Exhale to your mouth. Again, inhale deeply. The belly and chest expand. One more time through the mouth, let it go. And this third inhale for one chant of Om. Take another deep breath. Placing your left hand on your chest, your right hand on your belly. Let's begin Durga Pranayama. If you can, just breathe through your nose, even the exhales with the mouth closed. Empty all of this breath. Hold it out and relax. Into your belly, inhale 1/3. Pause and relax. Into your side ribs, inhale another third. Pause again. Into your chest, inhale the last third. And as you hold the breath, relax even more, sitting tall. Slowly, completely let the breath go. At the bottom, hold it out, softening even further. Again, into the belly, inhale 1/3. Pause, into your side ribs, inhale 1/3. Pause, into your chest, inhale the last third. Hold the breath in sweetly. Slowly let it go. Once more, hold at the bottom, sitting tall. Into the belly, 1/3. Pause, into your side ribs, 1/3. Pause, into your chest, 1/3. Hold it in, relax. Let it all go. Hold it out. Now inhale through all three parts, taking your time, savoring to the top without holding it. And when you're ready, smoothly whisper the breath through your nose, mouth closed, empty completely, beginning to create a balance between in-breath, sustained, and out-breath, sustained, nurturing a smooth transition in between, which will guide you into the flow of movement. So continue to whisper your breath through your nose, and now using Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. And let's come on down to hands and knees. As you're making your way there, I'm just going to make sure that everybody's muted. There we go. And now set your knees directly under your hips, set your wrists directly under your shoulders. And as you spread your fingers wide and flat, point both index fingers forward, not towards each other at all. Parallel the index fingers. Broadening your chest forward, lengthen your neck by steadying your gaze 1 foot ahead of your hands down the center line of your mat. Inhale, keep your hips squared and raise your right leg slowly behind you, flexing the toes towards the ground. Exhale, bend your right knee towards your chest. Hollow your belly, press your palms into the earth. Inhale into a straight line horizontally with your right leg back. Exhale, contract the belly some more, bringing the knee towards your chin. Inhale, lengthen your heel back, crown forward. Exhale, round so much, bending the knee towards your nose. Softly set your right foot just inside of your right hand, untucking your back toes, firm down to your right foot. Reaching your arms overhead, soften your shoulders down. We're going to create a little flow here, but before we do, make sure that you feel a sense of stability through your legs. So you want to feel that even though you're not moving your front leg, you're keeping it very still, as if you're dragging the heel towards the rear of your mat. So you feel your hamstring active. Top of your left foot firming down, pelvic floor lifting up, center, lower abdomen alive. As you take another inhale, cactus, bend your elbows apart and backstroke your arms, lifting your chest. Keep drawing your tailbone down. No compression of the lower back. And as you exhale, sweep your arms forward, landing your fingertips either on 2 blocks or the ground, straightening your right leg, curl your right toes up, bowing into a half split. We're going to take that cycle 4 more rounds. Inhale, bend the front knee, backstroke your arms and lift your chest, look up. Exhale your arms forward to the ground, straighten the right leg, curl the toes up, fold. Inhale, high lunge, backstroke your arms. Exhale, bow forward, half split. Inhale, into a lunge, backstroke. Exhale, forward into half split. Last time, inhale, lunge, backstroke. Exhale, forward into half split. Come up into a high lunge, tuck your back toes, and step back into downward facing dog. 5 breaths to shift around any way you like. On your next exhale, come back down onto modified plank. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, index fingers parallel, pointing forward. Steady your gaze on the ground ahead. Keep your hips squared. Inhale, raise your left leg horizontally behind you. Flex your toes down. Exhale, contract your belly, bending the knee towards your chest. Inhale, lengthen your left leg, crown forward. Exhale, contract, knee towards chin. Inhale, lengthen. press down with your palms. Exhale, round, knee towards nose. Softly stepping left foot forward, just inside of your left hand. Now, feeling your legs hips width apart. Front knee directly over heel. Rooting down through both feet. Imagine as if you're dragging both legs towards each other. Feel your left hamstring engage. Pelvic floor lift. Center alive. Inhale, circle your arms up and back, coiling your chest up. Exhale, sweep your arms forward, hands on blocks or the floor. Curl your left toes up and straighten left leg to fold. 4 more. Inhale, bend front knee, backstroke your arms. Exhale, sweep the hands forward, half split. Inhale, lunge, backstroke. Exhale, forward, half split. Inhale, lunge, backstroke. Exhale, forward, half split. I think we're on to 2 more. Inhale, lunge, backstroke. Exhale, forward, half split. Last round, deep breath, lift the heart. And exhale, fold. Tuck your right toes, entering a high lunge. And this time, step into plank pose for 5 breaths. Now you could have your legs straight or knees on the floor. Wrists under shoulders directly. Lift the sides of your waist. Lengthen your neck. Pause halfway down in Chaturanga Dandasana or four-limb staff. So first, glide forward, aim for a foot ahead. Then bend your elbows back, hugging your side ribs. Lift the sides of your waist, lengthen your neck. And then let's come all the way down. So as you point your toes, firm the tops of your feet into the floor so much that your knees are not touching the ground. As your heels of your palms are hugging your lowest ribs, hug your elbows towards your sides. Feel your shoulder heads rise away from the floor. Now as your pelvis and tops of your feet press into the ground, coil your chest up and hover your palms 2 inches off the ground. Keep hugging your elbows in. Inhale, broaden your chest forward. Exhale, 3. Inhale, soften your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, 2. Inhale, stretch your legs actively behind you. Exhale, press your palms into the floor, tuck your toes, lift to plank. Then downward facing dog. This time, let's hold still about 5 breaths. As you drop your head to relax your neck, separate your feet hips width, parallel. Feel space around your neck and shoulders as you wrap your triceps towards the floor. Lift your sitting bones high. Draw your weight down to your heels. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, bend your knees, lift your hips and heels high, look forward. At the end of your exhale, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Breathe in, press the ground to your shins and lift your chest. Breathe out to fold. From down to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms to rise. Palms meet towards the sky. Exhale your palms to your heart and down by your sides. Sun salutation A, 3 rounds continuously. Root down to your soles. Inhale, sweep your arms towards the sky. Exhale, hinge from your hips, long spine. Press the ground or shins with your fingertips. Lengthen your chest forward. Step back to plank or float back through Chaturanga Dandasana. And this time lower all the way for cobra or flip your toes into upward facing dog. Hollow your belly to lift your hips to downward facing dog. Pause there for at least 3 breaths. Slowing your breath down. And when you're ready, 2 more cycles, bend your knees, look forward. On emptied breath, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, fold. With strong legs, inhale, rise. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, expand your heart forward. Float or step back. Inhale, cobra or upward dog, chest open. Exhale, lift your hips, downward dog. On your own, give yourself 3 to 5 breaths to pause here. And when you're ready, walk or float forward. Continue one more cycle of Surya Namaskar A. And let's meet in downward facing dog. Downward dog. 3 more breaths. Feeling your lungs and all the cells in your body receive abundant energy with each inhalation. And exhaling. Let's bring the feet together to touch here. As you root down through even palms, inhale, raise your right leg back. This time, bend the knee and turn out your right thigh at the hip. Take a few breaths. You could either circle your right leg in both directions a few times as we loosen the hip joint. Or if you're feeling pretty strong in your core, your center, your shoulders, you could flip it over into tripod back bend, also called wild thing. If you're flipping it over, you're on the ball of your right foot, right knee is bent, and you're lifting your pelvis high, dropping your head back. And then let's meet back in 3-legged downward facing dog with your right leg straight behind you and your 2 hips facing the ground. There, take a deep breath and press your right heel further back. As you exhale, round forward, bending your right knee towards your nose. Softly land your right foot directly between your hands for warrior 2. Spin your back heel down, align front heel to arch back foot and cartwheel your arms, rising with arms wide open. Steady your gaze just past your right hand, but soften your gaze. Wrap your right outer hip beneath your body slightly. Full turn out of your front leg, bending your front knee right above the heel. Firm the top of your left thigh bone towards the right wall of your room, drawing your tailbone down towards the earth. Feel the slight lift of your frontal hip bones. Lower belly alive, spine tall. Last 3 breaths. Let's prepare for triangle pose by straightening your right leg. You may like to shorten your stance 2 to 3 inches. Glide your pelvis sideways towards your rear edge of your mat and reach your right hand forward before lowering it onto your right shin, or just to the right of your right shin, perhaps on a block. Continue to roll your right hip under. Find length in the right side of your torso, drawing your right hip crease towards the rear edge of your mat, while lengthening the top of your head towards your front wall. With arms wide open, spiral your chest slightly towards the sky, and perhaps even gaze up on one spot. Play with lightening the weight of your right hand. Leg muscles engaged, torso muscles engaged. Last 3 breaths. Entering half moon, as today is a half moon, steady your gaze on the ground ahead of your right toes. You may choose to place your left hand on your left hip to help with the transition. Bend your right knee and place your right fingertips on the floor or a block 6 inches ahead of your right pinky toe and out to the right corner. Drag your left foot forward and flex the foot. Lift your left leg horizontally, tracing the midline of your mat. Just like before, wrap your right outer hip under. Tack your right hip crease towards your left outer heel. And perhaps you're reaching your left arm towards the sky. Maybe gaze past it. Ardha Chandrasana. Let's expand here for 3 more breaths. Slowly and intentionally, on your next exhale, softly step your left foot towards the rear of your mat, re-entering Warrior Two. Take a breath in. And exhale, cartwheel your hands back to downward dog or flow through a vinyasa first if you choose. Breathe in and let it all out. Root down through fingers spread. And inhale, raise your left leg back. Bending your left knee, turn open at your hip and choose to either circle your left thigh in both directions or maybe to flip it over into tripod back bend, stepping the ball of your left foot to the ground outside the right edge of your mat. Belly towards the sky as you lift your pelvis high. Head drops back, opening the chest. Then let's all meet in 3-legged downward dog, squaring your hips to face the ground, straightening your left leg behind you, turning the toes down. There, take a deep breath and press your left heel further back. As you exhale, draw your left knee towards your nose, rounding in plank, to softly step left foot between your hands and spin the right heel down. Align your front heel to the arch of your back foot and cartwheel your arms to rise. Virabhadrasana 2. As you steady your eyes, softly pass your left hand and listen to your breath rebalance. Feel your left outer hip rotate slightly under your body and bend your front knee right on top of your heel. From the top of your right thigh bone towards your left wall, straightening your back leg. Lifting your frontal hip bones. Trace your awareness from tailbone to crown. Last 3 breaths. Preparing for Uttita Trikonasana, straighten your front leg and maybe shorten your stance 2 to 3 inches. Slide your pelvis sideways towards your rear wall. Reach your left hand towards your front wall. Then tilt it down to your shin or just to the left of it. Lengthen your left underside of your torso. Drawing your left hip crease towards your right heel. Wrapping your left outer hip under. With your right arm straight up, spiral your chest towards the sky and maybe look up. Steadying your gaze again. Another 4 deep breaths in triangle. Let's prepare for Ardha Chandrasana. Steady your gaze at the floor in front of your left foot. You may want to put your right hand on your right hip to help you transition. Bend your left knee. Reach for the ground or a block, forward and to the left of your pinky toe. Drag your right foot forward and flex the foot. Lift your right leg horizontally, tracing the midline of your mat. Deep breath in, slow breath out. You might open your right arm towards the sky once your balance feels stable enough. And you might even add the challenge of steadying your gaze up. Let's take another 3 to 4 breaths, expanding here in half moon pose. When you're ready to land, back to warrior 2. Use an exhale to take your time getting there. Once you arrive in warrior 2, take a deep breath in. Exhale your hands into plank, lowering into a vinyasa, maybe cat-cow, or none at all. We'll meet in downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Savoring that fullness of your inhalation and sweetly surrendering it out. Feel the attitude of caretaker as you nourish your body in this next round. Sun salutation, bees. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, lightly land, feet touching together at the top. Then inhale, press with your fingertips, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, fold in. Firm down through your feet. Inhale, rise tall, palms meet. Exhale, let's begin in mountain pose. We'll take the first round a little slowed down so we can set the route of where we're going. Surya Namaskar B, with feet touching, knees touching. Bend your knees and lean your weight back towards your heels. You might play with grazing the floor with your fingertips and trying to keep your hips that low as we take a couple more breaths here. Shifting your shins back so that you could see your toes, but steadying your gaze forward as you relax your shoulders down. Feel your belly firm in towards your back body as your tailbone descends. Take another breath in. Then exhale, shift forward to fold, straightening your legs. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or float back into your vinyasa. All the way through cobra or upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg, keeping your hips squared. Exhale, softly step your right foot just inside of your right hand. Spin the back heel down, keep facing forward. Inhale, rise to warrior 1. Pause and let's feel this. Your feet are about hips width apart. Your back heel is completely grounded, firming the outer edge of it to the floor to lift the inner arch of your left foot. As you spiral your inner left thigh towards your rear wall, feel your left outer hip come forward. Bend your front knee right on top of the ankle, plugging your right thigh deeper into the hip socket. As you lift your frontal hip bones, feel the full length of your spine. Let's take one more inhale. Use your exhale to flow all the way into Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue on through your vinyasa. Downward dog. Inhale, raise your left leg, squaring your hips. Exhale, softly step your left foot just inside of your left hand. Spinning your right heel down, keep facing forward, and inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. As your feet are about hips width apart, feel the equal weight on both soles, completely grounding both heels. Spiraling your inner right thigh slightly towards your rear wall. Feel your right outer hip coming forward. Bending your front knee just over the ankle. Feel your left thigh bone plugging deeper into its hip socket. Pelvic bowl upright, tall spine. One more breath. Then use the entire exhale to lower. Whether you choose to take a cat-cow, flow through a vinyasa, or step straight to downward facing. Three to 5 breaths here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we'll wrap up this first cycle of 3, and then we'll go into a continuous breath-led movement. Really experiencing how we completely immerse ourselves in each posture and gracefully attend to the transitions. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, lightly land, feet together at the top. Breathe in to lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Knees touching. Inhale, sit low in chair. Exhale to rise. From the top, breath-led, inhale, chair. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, step or float back to lower. Inhale, the heart rises. Exhale, the hips lift. Inhale, your right leg back. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, ride the wave down to chaturanga. Breathe in, heart lifts. Breathe out, hips lift. Inhale, raise left leg. Exhale, float the left foot forward. Inhale, rise, tall warrior one. Exhale all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, hips back. 3 to 5 breaths, still in downward dog. As you've ironed out any wrinkles in the breath, let's prepare for the last round. Wrapping this up, bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. With knees together, inhale, sit low in chair. Exhale, rise to mountain pose. Last time, Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, Utkatasana chair. Exhale, Uttanasana fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana half up. Exhale, walk or float to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, hips lift, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale up to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa. All the way through. Then inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, rise, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale through your vinyasa. Three to 5 breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of the out breath, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Let's prepare for a twist. Join your hands at your hearts. Keep your knees in one line facing forward and begin to twist to your right, turning your chest. Maybe sink your hips a little lower as you breathe in to lengthen your spine forward. Breathe out, hollow your belly, continue to twist with the option of hooking your left upper arm outside of your right thigh. Another 4 deep breaths here in Parita Utkatasana. Sitting a little lower, inhale your arms up in chair. Exhale, rise, lifting your left knee off the ground. Flex your left foot, standing on your right. Feel the balance and height of both hips. And begin to press your left heel back until your left leg is horizontal, as well as your spine as it bows forward. Warrior 3. As we stay a few breaths, you have the option of lowering your hands on blocks or the floor, opening your arms, reaching them back, reaching them forward. Feel your left outer hip rotate to face the ground and your right outer hip draw back. Lower belly lifted. Let's lengthen here for 3 more breaths. Virabhadrasana 3. Slowly step your left foot back into a shorter version of Warrior 1, meaning the distance from both feet is about 1/3 less, so that you can straighten both legs and prepare for Pyramid Parsvatanasana. So have your feet about hips width apart, both soles entirely on the ground. Engage the front muscles of your thighs, like you're slightly lifting your kneecaps. With hips facing forward, bring your hands behind your back to open your chest. You could either press fist to fist, catch opposite elbows, or palm to palm in reverse prayer with your fingertips pointing up. Then as you firm your belly and energize your legs, take a deep breath in and lift your chest. Exhale, begin to hinge forward towards your inner right shin, then pause. Firm down through your feet. And inhale, lengthen your spine forward. With hips squared, exhale, fold another little bit. And just like that, explore your range. Another 3 breaths. Inhale, lift your spine halfway up. Place your left hand just beneath your left shoulder, perhaps on a block. You might use your right thumb to gently tack your right outer hip back, re-leveling the height of your hips. Legs strong. Raise your right arm to the sky, palm facing right wall, and begin to twist, turning your rib cage, but keeping your hips leveled. Revolve triangle pose. Now, if you want to explore challenging your balance further, deepening the twist, you could place your left hand on the right side of your front foot. Let's take another breath, 3 breaths, to explore the range of your twist here. On your next breath out, looking down at your right foot, frame it with your 2 hands. Then step your left foot to meet the right, touching it. Inhale, lengthen forward, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Let your knees come together. Inhale, chair pose. Let's prepare to twist. Hands together at your heart. Keeping your knees in one line, rotate your rib cage to face the left wall. Each inhale, pause as you keep your hips squared and lengthen your spine. And each exhale, use your obliques and maybe add a leverage of right upper arm against outer left thigh. Let's play with this another 4 breaths. Inhale, look forward, sit a little lower with arms up in chair. Shift your weight onto your left foot, hands together at the heart, and exhale, lift your right foot to stand on one leg. Flexing your right foot, pause for a few breaths, re-leveling the height of your hips. When you're ready, press your right heel towards your rear wall. Bow the crown of your head towards your front wall, creating a horizontal line from crown to heel. Lift your lower belly, face your right hip towards the ground, and draw your left hip back. Then explore any variation of your wings, your arms. Let's practice flying here in Virabhadrasana 3 for 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, with an exhale, softly step your right foot back into a 1/3 shorter stance than Warrior One. Feet hips width apart, both heels grounded, both hips facing forward, legs straight. Firm the front muscles of your thighs. Bring your arms behind your back. And either again, press fist to fist, or hold the other elbow on top, or reverse prayer. Inhale, lift your heart. Firm in your belly, and exhale, hinge just a little bit. Pause as you breathe in, reground your feet, and re-lengthen your spine. Exhale, maybe fold another little bit. And keep going. Exploring through Parsvottanasana. Inhale, lift your spine parallel to the ground and lower your right fingertips just below your right shoulder, maybe using a block. You might like to use your left thumb though and hook your left outer hip slightly back, realigning your hips squared. Stretch your spine further forward, feel solid in your legs as you breathe in. Twisting to your left, raise your left arm towards the sky, palm facing left wall. Breath by breath, rotating your rib cage as you firm your outer hips to still your lower back. You might even explore placing your right hand on the left side of your left foot. Let's take another 3 to 4 breaths here in Parita Trikonasana. On your next exhale, looking down, set your 2 hands on the ground, and let's step back into plank pose. Once in plank, place your elbows directly underneath your shoulders, forearm plank for 5 breaths. Palms face down or interlace your fingers. Breathe in, bring your feet together and press your heels back. 5. Inhale, lengthen your sternum forward, gaze past your hands. 4. Inhale, relax your face, shoulders down the back. Exhale, 3. Inhale, firm the front muscles of your thighs, tailbone reaches down towards your inner heels. Exhale, 2. One more deep breath. And exhale, lower to Sphinx pose. Set your forehead to the ground as we prepare for bound locust pose. Interlacing your fingers behind your lower back. Bring your ankles close together. When we lift the legs, try to keep your ankles no wider apart than your hips distance and your feet parallel, all helping to support your lower back. Begin to press your heels back. Feel your knees rise away from the floor. With legs straight, point your toes and lift your legs off the ground. As you reach your knuckles of your hands towards your heels, coil your chest off the earth, gently lifting your skull as you gaze on the floor ahead. Lengthening the back of your neck, broaden your chest. Think more of lengthening forward and lengthening back. The rise will come naturally. So let's take another 4 or more cycles of breath here. And when you feel ready, with an exhalation, lower everything down. might want to turn your head to one side and pigeon toe your feet as we rest for 2 to 3 deep breaths. This next round is again bound locust pose with an option to transition directly into bow pose or Dhanurasana. Let's begin the same way. Knees close together. Point your toes, interlace your fingers, and maybe try the opposite thumb and index finger on top. This time, as you take a deep breath in, lift everything you can off the ground, toes pointing back, tailbone reaching towards heels, heart reaching forward. Now you decide 5 or more breaths before you lower to rest. If you're transitioning to bow, bend your knees, catch your outer feet with your hands, and kick your legs towards straight. While pulling your feet towards your glutes, feel your chest broaden and your shoulder blades slide down. Feel the fullness of your breaths as this posture helps. And when you're ready to let it go, you might like to turn your head to the opposite side and maybe even this time bend your knees and gently windshield wiper your shins together side to side. 2 to 3 breaths. Begin to make your way back to downward facing dog. As you press the mat away with your fingertips, feel your hips rise further back, full elongation of your spine. Take a few breaths here. Preparing for single pigeon pose, hip opener. Now, if you know that you have sensitive knees or just prefer to lie on your back for the supine version, go ahead and have a seat, come onto your back, and you can do both sides lying down, creating a figure 4 shape of right ankle, right foot flexed, over left thigh. Otherwise, regular single pigeon, cross your right shin in front of your pelvis onto your mat. Slide your left leg straight back, tucking the toes. Placing your hands alongside your hips, lift your pelvis and scissor your right hip back enough until both hips are evenly facing forward. Now you might see that you'll need something to fill up the gap between the floor and your right glute, and that's where you could use any of your props. If you're feeling that you can parallel your shin to the front edge of your mat, make sure to flex your right foot the whole time here to stabilize your knee. Then untuck your back toes and take your option of either folding forward, spiraling left arm under right elbow into the other thread the needle, or taking another heart opener in king pigeon by bending your left knee, back stroking your left arm to catch hold of your left ankle or foot. Still trying to keep your hips squared, maybe raising the right arm. Perhaps hooking the top of your left foot into the crook of your left elbow, in which you might be able to clasp your fingers, coiling your chest up. So whatever version of your hip opener you're in, let's be here, immerse in it. Another 5 deep breaths. Taking your time to come back to downward dog. If you're lying down, stay lying down. And before you switch sides, add some movement for your thighs at your hips, like circling your legs. Otherwise, in downward dog, lift your right leg and just take a moment to shake it out or circle it. Then in regular downward dog, Cross your left shin in front of your pelvis, sitting on your mat with your right leg straight back. Tuck the right toes for a moment as you place your hands alongside your hips to help you scissor your left hip back, your right hip forward. Perhaps placing a prop under your left glute. Untuck your right toes. And if your left shin can parallel the front edge of your mat, make sure to flex your left foot to stabilize your knee. Now, taking yourself towards the version that you were on the first side, folding forward or threading the needle with right arm under left elbow, or king pigeon, another heart opener, in which you bend the right knee, backstroke the right arm to catch hold of right foot or ankle. By kicking the right leg away from, pull it towards you. You can use those counter forces to help lift your spine upright and balance if you choose to raise the left arm. Perhaps hooking the top of your right foot against the crook of your right elbow and clasping your fingers overhead. Know that you have many options and one hip may need a different option than the other hip. And as you honor that in Satya, in Ahimsa, no need to want anything than what's here right now for now in that gratitude practice of Asteya. Let's take another 5 breaths. Taking your time, come into your neutralizing position or movement. If you're on your back, this time it might be happy baby pose or supine frog. And if you're back to downward dog, giving your left leg some movement at the hip can help. Let's meet sitting upright with legs straight in front of you, preparing for Paschimottanasana. You may want to use a strap around the balls of your feet. Otherwise, extend your arms up overhead. As you separate your feet hips distance and flex your feet, spread your toes and press the mounds of your big toes forward, causing your inner thighs to slightly spin towards the ground, helping to create traction for your lower spine. And as you root down to your sitting bones, lift your spine even taller with shoulders relaxed. Breathe in. Extending your sternum forward, hinge from your hips as you breathe out, hollowing your belly in support of your back. Now, if you don't have a strap, you could catch hold of your legs or maybe clasp your big toes with your peace fingers, drawing your heart forward, melting your shoulder blades down. Another 4 deep breaths. With belly still firm, pelvis rooted, lead with your chest and begin to rise as you breathe in. So as you make your way onto your back for one last cooling inversion posture, you may want to grab your blocks in case you want to use them to support your sacrum in a modified shoulder stand, unless you're practicing a regular shoulder stand, if you know that you can do it safely and have no injuries. So find a comforting, relaxing way to lift your legs up higher than your hearts. Wonderful way to cool down, relax your nervous system a little more, stimulate blood flow, relax your feet and legs, and also stimulate digestive flow. Let your chin tilt slightly away from your chest, welcoming your breath at your throat. Just about a minute here before we lower to rest completely. So taking your time, gently place your body very intentionally in a position where it can just splay out and feel completely able to let go of effort, including in breathing. So you close your eyes, palms facing the sky, with an attitude of openness. Just receive for the next 3 minutes. As your body remains still, release this full breath. Pause at the bottom of it and inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. With natural breaths, begin to move your body into a gentle stretch. Maybe keeping your eyes closed as you continue to tune into subtlety. Gently turn over to one side and slowly press your body up to sit. And for those of you joining me for 5 minutes sitting silently in meditation, let's prepare sitting tall and comfortably. I'm going to set the timer now for 5 minutes. Allow a deep breath in, lifting your heart. Exhale to your mouth, joining your palms at your hearts. So as we step off the mat and into the world, how do we integrate our yoga practice? How can we contribute to the harmony and balance in this world through our practice of asteya, or non-stealing? Perhaps reframing our role or attitude as caretaker rather than owner. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.